Thank you for joining us today for College Commons Week as we explore the next steps in the college admissions process. My name is Janine Coutu and I'm with the College Foundation of West Virginia. We are extremely excited to host our second annual College Commons Week event, an opportunity that allows us to work together with college campuses to help students navigate the college-going process. This evening, we are pleased to announce that representatives from West Virginia University Institute of Technology have joined us today for this webinar series. Joining us from WVU Tech is Kent Gamble, Dean of Enrollment Services, and Jordan Smith, Senior Admissions Counselor. Thank you for joining CFWV for this new statewide initiative. Through this initiative, we aim to help West Virginia students and family prepare for and transition to college. As I get ready to turn the presentation over to our presenters, I would ask that you use the chat box to ask any questions you may have throughout our time together this evening. Staff will address those questions and ensure that they are answered before we conclude today's webinar. This webinar is being recorded and will be made available on cfwv.com later this week. With that said, Kent, Jordan, welcome, and now I turn this webinar over to you.
Thank you. Glad to be here today. So we're going to talk to you guys a little bit about WVU Tech, what we have to offer, kind of the landscape of our campus and how our programs work, and hopefully we can enlighten some students about why WVU Tech is a great choice for them. So, I'm so sorry. So at first glance, WVU is statewide. Being West Virginians, many of us are familiar with the WVU system. If you're not familiar with the system, you're definitely familiar with the brand in general. We're all familiar with WVU in Morgantown being the flagship institution of the state of West Virginia, more than 27,000 undergraduate students. Some are a little less familiar, but still a great option if you're in the Eastern Panhandle for WVU Kaiser, which is home to Potomac State College of West Virginia University. And then you come down south, and I like to always refer to us as WVU South here on the WVU Beckley campus. It is home to WVU Tech, and we are an extension of WVU in the southern region of the state. We have our own institution, our own programs of study, our own identity in terms of athletics, a mascot, things like that, but we're still part of that WVU network with those same large university resources on a much smaller campus closer to home. We also have the two health science campuses. You see Charleston there and Martinsburg, in addition to the third health science campus, which is the primary HSC in Morgantown at Ruby Memorial. Those are extensions of WVU in the medical field. If you're familiar with the Charleston area, many people have been by CAMC Memorial and you've seen the sign on the side of the building. There is a division of WVU in that facility as well. So some of our achievements over the last several years, we had an annual increase in enrollment every year from 2012 to 2019. I would love to tell you that we got 100, 200, 300 new kids each year. That could mean 50 new kids, that could mean one new kid, but that means that we had an annual increase in students for each of those years, which is a great sign in today's climate. It's a great sign to know that students in this region are pursuing higher education, are staying close to home, and doing that right here at WVU Tech. We have 9 programs with ABET accreditation on our campus. ABET, for those who are not familiar, is the accreditation board for engineering and technology. That is the gold standard of engineering accreditation worldwide. Some of the best schools in the world, such as MIT, Virginia Tech, MIT, Texas Tech, Georgia Tech, so on and so forth, have that same accreditation. And it's great to know that we have that same type of brand right here at home at a small institution in Southern West Virginia. We are #1 in the state of West Virginia for return on investment. To be very short, in a very brief summary, that means bang for your buck. Students are going to WVU Tech, getting their bachelor's degree, and going out into the workforce and making more money on average per capita than any other graduates in the state of West Virginia. Now, that does not mean, and I'm very clear, I'm a very transparent person, that does not mean you're going to go out and everyone's going to make 6 figures right out of the gate. You have the potential to. Tech puts you in position to do that. But on average, our students are going out and making more money on average right out of the gate than most people are at other institutions. That's been a very consistent ranking for us. We're always not only #1 in the state of West Virginia, we're top 10, top 15 nationally in that sense. You'll see at the bottom, we're ranked in the top 15% for salary potential among four-year colleges in the United States as a whole. And we're consistently ranked in the top 100 for best undergraduate engineering schools in the country. Undergraduate meaning four-year bachelor's degree offering institutions that offer engineering. Consistently top 100, some of the most lofty ranking in the country, in addition to the potential for salary. It's a great combination, the perfect storm here at WVU Tech. Our faculty and staff here, our faculty are distinguished. We have 87 full-time faculty members. If you look over to the right there, you can see the PhD by college and school, think of that as department, and see the lofty educational background of each of the faculty members there. No classes here are taught by graduate or teaching assistants. Every class is actually taught by the professor themselves. What that means is their primary responsibility is to teach and advise. You're going to build relationships with your faculty here. In many cases, you can use them as professional job references later in life. I'm not saying that if you go to a larger university in a larger campus setting that you're not going to have a great experience. That's perfect for some students. Other students like that one-on-one individualized attention. I myself needed that type of attention. If I had gone to a large institution, they could have provided me the most world-class service. And no discredit to any large institution, but that just would not have retained me. I would not have had the ability to learn, to ask the individual questions that I need. I know I have friends, family members who have gone to large institutions. You may be in a large auditorium style setting. There may be a quiz or an assignment where you're actually plugging into a port and you're actually answering questions with a buzzer. Your courses are your coursework's graded by a teaching assistant, which means someone who's going to school to be a teacher someday. And you never really build that network with those faculty. Not saying it can't happen. It's just more rare at a large institution. At Tech, that's every class you're in. At Tech, you get to build a friendship with those professors. They know why you're not in class. There's a family matter. They understand if you're an athlete, why you're not there that day. They're willing to work with you and accommodate different things. And it actually becomes a family. I know it seems like a cliche, but you are more than just a number. And it is, it's more than just a student in a classroom. It is a family atmosphere, and it's something that Tech's prided ourselves on for many, many years. Here you see our programs of study. We have over 35 programs of study to choose from. We have everything from accounting to sport management on that list. Engineering is definitely going to be our bread and butter. I mentioned the lofty rankings that we have there, but I also like to take opportunities like this to tell students and families that we are more than just an engineering college. I myself got a business management degree here. Right now, Adventure Recreation Management is a program that we're getting off the ground. That's been around for a couple of years now. Focused in hospitality and tourism. We have construction management. Construction management's in our engineering college, but it's a less math-intensive approach to that degree. Everybody knows, private contractors. Everyone in their community's probably met at least one. Now we offer a degree, the first of its kind in this state and region, to help students go on and actually learn not only the construction aspect of it, but the business side of it, the management side of it, the finance side of it. So we combine those the management and the construction skills, and we've got a construction management program. Another program that may jump off the page is our hospitality and culinary program. That's the only two-year degree that we offer at WVU Tech. That degree is unique in the respect that although you take your courses and you actually cook it up in the kitchen here in Beckley, you are getting your degree, your diploma, if you will, that you hang on the wall someday, from Potomac State College. Back to the beginning slide. I talked about how WVU is a system. That's just one example of how we can provide synergy for each other, one side helping the other for a common goal. We can keep a student inside the WVU system, give them a two-year degree in a niche field that you don't see at every college around West Virginia, and we can give it to them right here in Beckley because we do have a world-class kitchen on campus. We do have a world-class chef that is over that program, and we're definitely seeing that grow. It just launched in July of last year. We're seeing more and more applications and admits for that every day. If you or anyone that you know is interested in that program, I would love to talk to them. But just one example of how we're more than just an engineering school. We also have our nursing program. Nursing's by far one of the most competitive programs that we have on campus. It's one of the most popular as well, and that's another program that's a little different. That is the true WVU School of Nursing on our campus. Your diploma, your transcripts, straight out of Morgantown. Now, the rest of our programs all are housed under the WVU Board of Governors when they sign your diploma, when you read that out, but Nursing is specifically a WVU School of Nursing degree as if you went to school in Morgantown, but you got it right here in Beckley. And those are just a few examples of why we are more than an engineering college, although engineering is great. We also have pre-professional tracks. Let's say you know right out of the gate, right out of high school, I want a bachelor's degree. I have to have a bachelor's degree to pursue anything above that, but I know I want to be a doctor. I want to be a pharmacist, a dentist, a vet, a lawyer. You can actually get that background right here at Tech, and you can have that emphasis to where you are ready to make that jump into graduate school. Now, we don't offer master's degrees on our campus. We don't offer doctorates on our campus, but WVU does. Other schools do, and you have to start somewhere and make that transition. So we give students the opportunity to start here and make that transition. We've had students go all over the world. We've had students for vet school, I think, go to Mississippi State. We've had students go on after they graduate here and go to the University of Missouri. But we have the opportunity in place for students to choose a pre-professional track and take that degree on to the next level. A lot of times, if you're in a pre-professional field, it's going to be a degree on your diploma, on your transcript that actually says biology or chemistry. If you're in pre-law, it could just about be anything. But you have that emphasis in place to make that transition and show when you apply to grad school somewhere that you do have a background in that field. Campus housing, we do have 2 residence halls on campus. We have Hogan Hall and University Hall. One's for underclassmen, one's for upperclassmen. Both are living and learning environments. They are staffed by full-time live-in resident directors. And what I mean by that is, of course, you'll have RAs, which are students that can help you with any day-to-day issues. But we have a true bona fide employee in each of our facilities that lives there 24/7, works for the institution just like myself or Dean Gamble here does. But they're there to help you for anything that you may need. Now, it doesn't have to be a bad problem. It could be a suggestion you have. It could be something that you want to try to get advice about. It could be anything. But it's good to know that you have someone there that has your best interest at heart that is on the clock 24/7. Both of our facilities are equipped with wireless high-speed internet, cable television with some of the most lucrative sports packages in the world. I've heard Dean Sands over in the student life department talk about that many times. We have fitness areas, study areas, laundry rooms, and community and game rooms. And I always like to point out that we have dedicated broadband space for our Wi-Fi network on campus for students who like to play games in their residence halls. We know for a fact that students love gaming so much that we have an esports club and an esports team now on campus, but it's good to know that you have a dedicated Wi-Fi network that you can connect to in your facility that's just for gaming. It helps not slow down everything else on campus. Housing information can always be obtained by visiting housing.wvutech.edu. We do require a $200 housing deposit on our campus. The Beckley campus does not require an academic deposit, only housing, but you have to submit this to reserve your room. You will fill out a housing application at that link that I just told you about. You'll pay that $200 housing deposit, and you will have a room on campus, and we'll see you this fall for move-in day. All students who live outside of 50 miles, a 50-mile circle around the city of Beckley, are required to live on campus. If you decide that you are not going to attend Tech for some reason, you always are encouraged to give us a call, shoot us an email, and let us know that something's changed, and your $200 deposit will be fully refunded if you can cancel by June 30th. Dining services is another huge aspect of student life on campus. Our dining services are provided by Sodexo. We have not only a dining hall that is buffet style, we refer to it as the Bear's Den, which is a clever play on our mascot, the Golden Bears, but we also have what's called the Tech Spot down the hall. The Tech Spot is a grab-and-go style cafe that also brews our Starbucks products on campus. Students go nuts for the coffee these days. I'm not a big coffee guy, but I know students are always in line down there getting their fraps, their caps, their mochas, getting everything they can. But we do brew the exact same drinks as Starbucks. It's a bona fide Starbucks right there on campus with a grab-and-go option for food as well. You can use that as a meal plan swipe on your student ID. To explain a little more about how that works, if you're going to eat at the traditional dining hall, you would go through, you go to the little kiosk, you'd have someone there, you'd put your card on the little scanner, that's going to take a meal off. So you see the 10, 15, 19 meal breakdown there if you live on campus. 19 is going to be our most lucrative package. That's every meal we offer. That's 3 meals a day, Monday through Friday. That's 2 meals a day, Saturday and Sunday. But you can split those. Maybe you want to get what's on the main fare that day. Maybe you want to actually get the dish that they're offering. Maybe you want to go over to the pizza section, the wrap station. My personal favorite is the made-to-order sandwich station. I love to go over there and get me a good chicken sandwich. I'm all about that. But let's say you want to mix it up a little bit. You're on campus every day. You're like, oh my goodness, I think I just want to grab a sandwich from the tech spot and a coffee, or I want to grab a Gatorade out of the fridge. You have that option to do that. You can balance that out. You're not forced to go to either one. And let's say you got the 10 meal plan. And let's say that you decided, wow, I did not get enough meals to cover how hungry I am this semester. I'm really studying a lot and I'm really burning some energy. So I'm ready to eat more. You can always go pay out of pocket if that happens. If you need to buy lunch, you don't have to have a card. Let's say you're a commuter. Let's say you're like myself. I didn't live on campus when I was a student. I commuted. I could still go into the dining hall and I could pay out of pocket and get whatever I want, all I can eat. So definitely keep in mind that you can do it that way. You have to have a meal plan if you live on campus. But if you're a commuter, you can either pay out of pocket or you can purchase one of our commuter meal plans that you see there. Beckley is in great proximity to plenty of the world's best outdoor recreation. We're not far from Winter Place. We're not far from the New River Gorge, newly christened National Park. So you have some of the best resources for outdoor adventure, which I also mentioned our adventure recreation program that ties right into that if you want a career in that, just within 15, 20 to 30 minutes from campus, depending on which direction you go. So the best skiing, hiking, mountain biking, rafting, zip lining, canopy tours. There's all kinds of stuff to do. If you're a local, you know all about it. If you're from the northern part of the state, maybe you've been down here for the summertime. Maybe you've rafted during the golly season, who knows? But we're close to a lot of different things for the outdoor adventurist here in beautiful southern West Virginia. I mentioned athletics. I mentioned esports being our new program that we launched back in the fall of 2020. But you also have our more traditional sports here. Basketball is always super competitive. Baseball is competitive. They're all competitive. But you see a lot of students that take part in our athletic programs here, and they make the grade while doing it. We have scholar athletes. We have all conference players. We have all American players on our teams. We compete in what's referred to as the NAIA. The NAIA is a little smaller than the NCAA. It's a little different, but a lot of our teams compete at the same level as a lot of the NCAA Division II schools would, and it's not uncommon for us to play a couple regular season games with our fellow West Virginia NCAA schools at the D2 level. We compete in the River States Conference. The River States Conference is, of course, going to border the Ohio River, which is a clever name for that conference, but all the teams in our conference are from Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana and Kentucky. We are the only West Virginia River States Conference team, and we are the only NAIA athletic program in the state of West Virginia. So definitely proud of that. Definitely have a lot of regional competitions and regional rivalries. If you have friends from other states that border this area, if you guys both go to different schools within the NAIA River States Conference, you're going to see each other quite a bit, multiple times per year. Campus safety is something that's crucial to the student, but in my opinion, it's something that the parent wants to hear a little more about. We are one of the safest campuses in the country, to the best of my knowledge. I've been with the school for 6 years as an employee. I've been there even longer as a student in the past, and I have never seen anything seriously devastating ever happen on campus. The big reason for that is because we have a campus police station right in the heart of campus. They are staffed with fully certified state police academy graduates. They have the same jurisdiction as any municipal cop in the state of West Virginia would have. They can run calls for the city of Beckley. City of Beckley can run calls on campus. They haven't had to, but they can if they need to. But everyone has that same sort of accreditation, is what I refer to it as, even though it's not really accreditation. But they have that same level of jurisdiction as any cop would. So we're a very safe campus. We're a very policed campus. Our public areas are monitored by video surveillance. We have a tech alert emergency texting system. We never want it to be a life-threatening situation, but it's good to know that you have a text alert system in place, that if you had to shelter in place, if you had to evacuate, that you could definitely do that. But you also have the opportunity to use what's called the LiveSafe app. The LiveSafe app is a lot like the Lost My iPhone app. If you've ever been on an Apple device and you've lost your device and you're using maybe someone else's, or you went online to find where your location was, you'll see the little blinking dot saying where it's at. Well, you have the opportunity with the LiveSafe app to share your location with family and other loved ones. Now, they're not going to spy on you. That's not what it's about. What it is you have to give permission through this app for someone to see your location. So let's say you went off campus, about a 15-minute walk. You went over to catch a basketball game over at the Beckley-Raleigh County Convention Center. Let's say it's late at night. Let's say you're walking back and it's maybe you and one other friend, and you guys just, it's not there's anything going to happen, but it's you're away from home. You never know. So what you can do is you can give your family permission to what's referred to as virtually walk you home, and they can see your location as you go. And if you veer from that path, with one button, they can notify campus police and they can report to that location. You can even report anonymous tips with that app to the campus police to let them know what's going on. But we have campus safety down to a T. I don't want to jinx anything, but we have not had any serious issues. And I truly, in my opinion, feel that we're not going to have any serious issues. So if you guys ever have any questions about how any of that works, you can always give our office a call. We can always talk to the campus police, and we can get questions answered that the families need to know before enrolling their students here at WVU Tech. Service and learning is a huge part about being a Golden Bear. Our students have logged more than 7,000 hours since 2017 in community service with over 30 community partners. We have different projects such as our Martin Luther King Jr. Day of Service, which is a day where the students are off school, but they donate their time instead of just going home and crashing on the couch. They donate their time to the community, whether it's painting, a litter sweep, soup kitchen, anything like that. They'll donate their time and they'll help out there. We have what's called the New Student Orientation Service Projects, which is a variety of projects around the city of Beckley and beyond. When students come back the first week of campus, or work first week back on campus, typically. That was a little derailed this past year with the pandemic. Interested to see how that's going to work this year. But it's where students come back to campus, and that first couple of days back, they donate their time around the community. I myself and a colleague of mine in the admissions office a couple of years ago, we pitched in with that, went with some students over to the Summit Bechtel Reserve, which is over in Glen Jean, West Virginia, about 15 minutes from campus. And it's where the National Boy Scout Jamboree is held at. And we actually donated our time taking down all the tents. And let me tell you, there were a lot of tents over there, and that was a lot of community service time for those students and faculty and staff as well. We also have alternative spring break and a community closet and food distribution. Campus success programs are a huge part of not only retention efforts for the school, but also setting up a student for success. We have the biggest one that jumps off the page there is the little arrow that says free academic tutoring and assistance. If you need help in a certain area, we have a student success center that dedicates both peer and professional resources to help students make the grade and boost their grade in class. We have student health services on campus for anything non-life threatening. I tell kids all the time, if you've got a sprain, an ache, a pain, it's a great place to go. And I always kind of tell this joke to families. If you have severed your hand in a horrible accident on a bicycle or a skateboard, please go to the emergency room. And Peggy Lambert Fink over in the Student Health Center will tell you the exact same thing. But anything non-life threatening, they are a great resource right here on campus. Student Success Center also offers, or they don't offer, they essentially are the first year advising center for students. So if you're a new student on campus and this is your first go around, you're going to make your schedule through new student registration with the Student Success Center and the Student Success Advisors. We also offer personal counseling, accessibility services, and we have a TRIO office on campus for student support efforts and first generation college students. So if there's something that you need in any of those capacities, we're going to have you covered, whether it's through the Student Success Center or it's through TRIO, Student Health, any of that. Life after college is just as important as the time in college. Yes, college is fun. College is an interesting time. You're learning more about how you're going to prepare yourself for your career beyond the classroom. But it's also great to know that your institution has a career services office dedicated to helping you make that transition. Whether it's career planning in general, co-ops, which is where you can actually balance work and school. In some cases, you can even get paid to work a job and balance that with your education. There's internship opportunities where you can actually get your foot in the door, donate your time to a company, and hopefully, in a lot of cases here, that leads to a job after you graduate. Resume building is a huge part of it. I cannot stress that enough. When you're sifting through resumes, which I'm one of those weird people that, although I've not had to sift through a lot of resumes in my life, I'm very intrigued by how people structure resumes, because it's an interesting concept on what do you put more attention on? Do you put more attention on your academic history? Do you put more attention on your community service, your job history? And it's really interesting to see how people portray themselves. Now, that's an art. That's why career services is such an important piece to all this. They'll sit down and they'll actually have clinics to show you how to best make a captivating resume to help get your foot in the door for an interview. I like to tell people all the time, I've told my wife this before when she got her job, a degree opens the door to an interview. You get yourself that job, but you have to get to that point, because something has to jump off the page and tell that employer, hey, I need an interview. I'm worth your time. And that's why career service is such a great thing. We have employer, and we actually also have grad school fairs on campus. We'll bring employers in, we'll bring colleges that offer master's degrees in and doctorals, and you can actually talk to people, ask questions, maybe fill out inquiry cards and get information from those institutions and have an idea of where you're going, whether it be the academic career or whether it be straight into the workforce after you leave tech. Here is a snapshot of our cost of attendance. You will see the flat rate at the top of the $75.60. That is per year cost here at WVU Tech. But in addition to the tuition and fees that you see there, you're also going to see the programmatic fees. So just in very general terms, let's say you're interested in engineering field. If you're interested in engineering field, you're going to take that $75.60 and add $2,016 to that. If you're in, business management, you're going to take that $7,560 and add $576 to that. And then you're going to take that total number and divide by 2, and that's your per semester cost. The different programs, if you have any questions about which of those programs qualify, don't qualify, whatever the case may be, you can always give our office a call. We would love to talk to you about that breakdown. If we can answer that question for you, we can put you in touch with student accounts. They can help answer those questions for you, and we can explain why you're seeing the bill that you're seeing or what bill you can expect when that time comes. Nursing, of course, is going to have a very lofty one as well, that being the WVU School of Nursing. We like to point that out as well, and that does qualify for pre-nursing too. So if you're a pre-nursing student or a nursing student making that transition through the program, that is going to follow you. That fee is going to be there from day one if you were admitted to that program. Same goes for engineering and pre-engineering. Our residence halls, both 7116 right now for University Hall and Hogan Hall. A way to break that down for you to kind of mentally, if you haven't been on campus, take that picture of how to distinguish these two. Hogan Hall for the underclassmen is going to be a traditional double room where you're going to actually have a roommate with you in that very same confine. University Hall is more commonly going to be your facility where you have your own single room. Both residence halls are built with a suite model, meaning you are going to have people within your suite up to 4 people, but one, you're going to share an actual bedroom with one other person. The other one, you're going to have your own single room where you can close the door and kind of disconnect from the rest of the world when you're having your alone time. What are the next steps? If you've applied to tech, next steps is sign up for registration. If you haven't applied to tech, next steps to apply. You can send us your official high school transcripts. If you're a transfer coming to school, your college transcripts, you've taken early enrollment classes, AKA college classes while you're in high school, you can always send those to us ASAP to get credit for those. There's no application fee to WVU Tech. The Beckley campus does not have a fee. I just tell anyone who applies, you can go to wvutech.edu and you can select apply today at the top. Make sure once you create your account to log in, first of all, make sure you save that username and password, because if you want to come back in and make changes to your app later, that's how you're going to do so. Second, you're going to have 3 options. You're going to have the Beckley campus, Morgantown, Kaiser. If you're planning on coming to tech, please select the Beckley campus. That can create a little bit of a confusion there, but definitely select Beckley if you are choosing to pursue WVU Tech. You will send your test scores, ACT or SAT or both, as many attempts as you've had of either one. The better the score, the better opportunity for scholarships, which you don't have to apply for, by the way. Scholarships are awarded based off your merit, and we will notify the student and family if they do meet that criteria. But you can send them through those codes there, or you can go to the College Board website and request those be sent over as well. Last but not least, don't forget the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. You can send that up to 10 schools at a time. The cool thing about WVU is you can send them to 3 schools at one time, and that only counts as one of your FAFSA submissions. If you use code 003827 or just type in West Virginia University, it goes to all 3 WVU system schools, all 3, WVU Tech, WVU Morgantown, and Potomac State College of WVU on the Kaiser campus. But that is pivotal to making that next step into the enrollment process. Please, if you've not done so, even if you passed any priority dates, please fill out the FAFSA ASAP, because that is a huge part of how you're going to understand how you're going to pay for college. I mentioned how to apply. I mentioned how the website has the Apply Today button at the very top. You see a breakdown there of our summer term that runs May 18th to August 7th. You see the fall term that starts August 18th, which is a more traditional admissions term. You see the different types of admission criteria that we have. This is just a snapshot. Let's say you're a little confused. In a lot of cases, the audience that we're speaking with here is going to pursue first-time freshman requirements. But let's say you're an international student. Let's say you've gone to college before. By the way, I want to point out, just because you've taken early enrollment courses, back to those college courses you earned in high school, that does not mean you're a transfer student. If you've never gone to college as a full-time student, then you are a first-time freshman. I mentioned sign up for registration, new student registration. We have an admitted students tab at admissions.wvutech.edu. You will use that webpage as a tool or a checklist to go back and follow through with anything that I've mentioned in this presentation, whether it be the housing application, whether it be financial aid, whether it be registration, anything. It's all going to go to the admitted students tab. But to sign up for registration, you click on admitted students, you click on new student advising and registration, and you can sign up for an appointment right there. You're going to be sent an email directly after you RSVP that's going to have 2 options. You'll click a button on that email if you want to do a virtual advising appointment. We've got you covered there. That's 2 days a week. If you want to do an in-person advising appointment, we have a button for that as well. You'll pick your time and date, and we'll set up the logistics and let you know where to be and how to access your appointment when the time comes. You will log into your WVU portal after you've been admitted. You'll work with your advisor to register for classes. This is all after you've been admitted. You'll pay the housing deposit, file the FAFSA, complete your career assessment, which is a part of the new student registration process. We also have Golden Bear Welcome Days that run May through August, which is, in my opinion, it's kind of like an orientation. It's an opportunity for you to actually have the family to ask the questions, get to know the different departments on campus, and then you actually register for orientation, and that comes into play the week classes start, and that's when you'll actually get the ball rolling to set foot in your classes on day 1 this fall. We have a student health insurance requirement on campus. There is a waiver that you can submit for that. If you submit that waiver, you will not be charged any extra for any type of insurance. If you have your own health insurance, you will just provide that you have a policy, and that will be removed from your account. After that's all taken care of, you will pay your bill. That's going to be later in the summer when that's all assessed. You'll secure a parking permit. It's $100 to park on campus. And yes, freshmen can bring their vehicle to campus at WVU Tech as a freshman. You'll purchase your books. We have a Barnes & Noble college bookstore on campus that will take care of all that. They'll be able to link your schedule on your student portal to the system at the bookstore, and they'll be able to have the books prepared for you and ready to get on day 1. You can purchase those, you can rent those, whatever the case may be. You'll get your student ID from our student accounts office, and then you'll move in and attend orientation, and you're good to go from there. The next steps for registration, there's a snapshot of the page that I was talking to earlier. Once you go into new student advising and registration, you'll sign up there by clicking that gold button. That will take you to the portal that you'll sign up for a date. It'll launch you an email, and then you'll pick which preference you have, in person or virtual. Appointments do run May 18th through August 12th. We do encourage any student who has been admitted to sign up for this ASAP, because that does reserve you a spot. And classes do fill up on a rolling basis, first come, first serve. So you have to get in there and make your appointment to reserve your spot. I'm not saying you won't get classes if you wait to the end, but you might not get the class that you want, and you might not get the priority time of date that you're looking for. The new student orientation is August 15th through 17th. I mentioned that class actually starts on the 18th, so you'll have all this taken care of that Sunday through Tuesday before classes start on Wednesday. In financial aid, a snapshot of the resources on their website. You can click a link to jump you over to the FAFSA website at the financial aid section of wvutech.edu. You can click and make an appointment with a financial aid counselor at that link as well. Our financial aid staff is at least one or two in the office any day of the week. You can make appointments by phone call, by Zoom, by email, but they're going to be there to help you get the questions answered that you need regarding the FAFSA process and what the next steps are. You can contact the staff, complete the FAFSA, and find more scholarship information all at financialaid.wvutech.edu. Our financial aid staff, we have Joanne Ross, our financial aid manager. Tammy Saunders is a senior counselor over there, been here for many, many years. She's a great resource. And we also have Corey Tedder over there. He is also our esports coach. So if you have a kid that's interested in gaming and they want to talk about the FAFSA, you can kill two birds with one stone by talking to Corey Tedder over there. And I'm sure he'd love to talk to you guys about the esports program as well as your financial future at WVU Tech. The admissions office is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can schedule a one-on-one phone call with an admissions counselor. You can call our office at the general line, 304-929-0311. You can fax us, you can email us, and we also have a UChat plugin at the bottom right of the admissions website. And you can see the little green dot. And if a counselor is online, you can instant message us and we can help you out right there on the spot. If you have any missing items to have sent over from a school, an official item, you can send it to 410 Neville Street, Beckley, West Virginia, 25801. You can stay connected with WVU Tech by checking out our social medias of Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The top handle is our university's overarching handle. The bottom handle is the admissions office specific handle for those accounts. A few announcements. We do offer individual campus visits Wednesday through Friday at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. You can sign up by clicking Visit Tech at the top of the website. New student registration advising is now open, and we are offering an on-campus ACT. We just have one in April. We're going to have one on July 31st. One big thing to point out is this event is only for students who are A, trying to qualify for the promise and still need to get a better score, or B, you're trying to be admitted to one of the WVU system schools. Now, other schools will be offering this as well, but the ACT that you take on campus is specific to that school. The benefit of WVU Tech's ACT that we're offering is that you can transfer that between the WVU system. So you could take it in Beckley, go to Kaiser, take it in Morgantown, come to Beckley, vice versa. But you can RSVP today at admissions.wvutech.edu. So I know I cut it a little bit close on time there. We've got about 4 minutes left here. If anyone has any questions, I myself, Jordan Smith, can answer those. Kent Gamble is on the call as well. I'm going to go ahead and check the chat and see if there's anything that came through. If there is, I'll address that. If there's not, I'll take any questions anybody may have right now through the video if they want to come on the mic and ask that, or if they want to just ask that in the chat.
Great. Jordan, I'm not seeing any questions in the chat. You did a wonderful job addressing everything that we wanted to touch on during this presentation. So with that, I think we can go ahead and conclude. I just want to take the time to thank the team from WVU Tech for joining the College Foundation of West Virginia during College Commons Week. Please be sure to reach out to them with any questions you may have, and thank you to those who attended this webinar series. If we could be of any further assistance, please reach out to us at cfwv.com. Thank you.
Thank you all. I was glad to be here.